I've been asked to have a look at the condition of the roof and the gutters at number 22 Auburn Gr in Hawthorn East. This is a triple-storey residential development, probably approaching 60 years of age, I would say, and it does retain the original galvanised steel deck roof sheets. Now, this roof is rusted out past the point of no return. It's actually been painted a couple of years ago, and that paint job hasn't really done much good. There is nothing, by the way, that you can do about steel once the rust sets in. You actually have to remove rust prior to treating it. These rust converters and stuff, which was implied the last time, has been largely debunked by Standards Australia. They've published material that refutes the claims of the manufacturers, stating that it magically converts rust. In most cases, it actually just changes the colour, as it's done in this case, and as you can see, the rust has bubbled along merrily underneath. So realistically, replacement is the only option once the roof advances to this age, and 60 years is not a bad run for this type of roof anyway. Now, it's also got pitch issues. You can see where water's been ponding on the roof. It's very, very flat. Back when this was built, there wasn't a lot of regulation surrounding flat roofs, and as a result, they didn't really put a lot of incline on them. Now, however, that's all changed. The minimum fall for a roof is 1 degree, and you can see by the manufacturer's specifications that they also insist on reasonable fall. So when you do replace, you must bring that into line with current codes. Now, if you don't do that, there's a couple of nasty repercussions. First of all, you wouldn't have a warranty, obviously, because you've installed the roof outside of what the manufacturers stipulate. But secondly, if you do so, you're also winding up with a non-compliant roof. And that, as you can see by this letter from an insurance loss assessor, can void your insurance coverage as well. So pretty serious stuff. Make sure that whoever you engage to do this job is going to do it by the book. Now, it is a little bit more involved than standard plumbing work. You can see by these images what we need to do to regrade this roof. Effectively, we've got to build new trusses, new structural battens up on that roof to elevate the roof on one side so that it has got sufficient fall, and that is definitely considered structural work. And you can see by this VBA literature that any structural work realistically requires a building permit, but more specifically, when you start doing structural battens where wind uplift can be an issue, then you absolutely must get a building permit. That means that the company that you contract has to not only be a registered plumber, they must be registered builders also. Now, this is another rather important one because the plumbers of the world are going to try and convince you otherwise. But if you go ahead and have this job done without the appropriate licenses and insurances, the plumber, if he gets it wrong and the roof blows off, can find himself uninsured also. And you would be chasing him, hoping he has the personal assets to cover any damage that might occur as a result. Now, we are registered builders and licensed plumbers, so we can assist you with the entire job, but obviously there is a cost implication with jobs that require a building permit. We need to obviously get the permit, which requires a building surveyor. He'll need architectural drawings to submit to council, and you also need to have the relevant insurance, as I said, so homeowners warranty insurance, which we will purchase on your behalf. The silver lining of it all is that the independent building surveyor, who is independent, will also come and check the job periodically to make sure that it's been done to a high level. So you've got that added insurance, if you like, in the background, knowing that somebody independent is going to be looking over the work, giving you certificates at the end. Now, the guttering's also a bit of an issue. It's probably has been replaced, but quite a while ago. But look, there's no provision for overflow. If it fills up with water, it can easily flood back into the building. The downpipes were also replaced, but they're undersized for the roof area. So I'm going to include new guttering and downpipes with the quote. Just get the whole lot done at once. Obviously, there's significant expense in safety with this job, scaffolding and whatnot. Always a good idea to try and get everything done at the same time. So the scope of work I'm going to be including with this video presentation is as follows. First of all, the safety. We do have to have a scaffold tower with a stairway erected so that we can get up and down quickly and safely. And that'll be located around the back of the building, but then we're also going to have ladders fixed to the roof so that we can gain access from one level to the other. A scissor lift will be on site. Now, that's required to erect the scaffold tower, but also to get materials up and down quickly and safely. And there's also the perimeter scaffolding that we've got to get up onto the roof, and the scissor lift would be used for that. Now, the perimeter railing is there there obviously to prevent any falls from occurring while we're doing the job. Once it's all been made safe, we can get on with the job. The first order of business is obviously removing sections of the roof. We only do it a bit at a time so that we are protected from weather at all times. But a section of roof comes off, the regrading takes place. Now the gutter's on one side of the building, so the opposite side has to come up in height. We need to get about probably 200 millimetres in height on the opposing edge. The pitch of this roof is only around about 0.3, so it does have to come up significantly to make it compliant. An insulation blanket will be installed. Now this is a thicker blanket. It's a 75 millimetre blanket plus 5 mil of isolation, so 80 millimetres in total. Acts as a good condensation barrier, but it also helps acoustically, keeps the building quieter and obviously much cooler in summer and warmer in winter. Type of steel is going to be a clip lock in the heavy gauge. This is clip lock what you're seeing here. The heavy gauge is what the manufacturers stipulate for roofs with low pitches. But the finish is going to be Colorbond, and this is another massive thermal upgrade. Your standard steel can hit 110 degrees Celsius on a 37 degree day. White Colorbond will stay as low as 55 in the same conditions. That plus the blanket will make a very, very big difference indeed. Those of you in the upper floors will attest to how hot it can get up there. Now, a couple of air conditioning units that'll have to be decommissioned and recommissioned. We'll get the appropriate tradespeople in to do that for us. All the other flashings obviously have to be redone as well. There's perimeter capping that needs to be replaced, and it also has to be increased in size. It's pretty small at the moment. Guttering is going to be replaced. Spacer blocks is going to be employed this time round, so that means that the gutter is going to be sitting off of the fascia, and if it fills up with water, it's got a discharge point between the two. Rain heads will also be installed to further increase the efficiency and the discharge rate of the gutter, and the downpipes are going to be increased in size and obviously replaced in Colorbond as well. Now, a couple of options are going to be included. One's going to be for an access system, so an access hatch with a drop-down ladder will be installed at the top of the stairwell, and then on the level where the level change is, double story to the triple story section, a permanently fixed aluminium ladder will also be bolted in place, and then a series of anchor points up there just to keep people safe when they get up on the roof. Look, highly recommended. WorkSafe rules and regulations are getting ever more strict, and injuries from this sort of thing are obviously never have been accepted, but even more so in this day and age. It will be in there as an option, however, so it's entirely up to you. The other one is more for aesthetics, but also probably not a bad idea, is to encapsulate the perimeter timbers in a Colorbond steel so that you don't have to worry about repairs or painting to that timber in the future. Again, in there as an option, but a recommended one. Look, I think that's pretty much it. My name's Steve. My contact details will be in the body of the quote. If there are any queries or questions, feel free to jump on the phone and give me a call. Thanks for your time. Bye.